So everybody, we're live. This is just a little crack on, little talk to everybody regarding anything really. Whoop, 2 minutes, phone's gone mad. It's just a little crack on everybody. I've just seen on Instagram, I'm not sure which one put it on, but this news come out. Newcastle have had a bid rejected. I think it's in the region of round about £2 million for Dion Sanderson. They tried to hijack our move. That's even if we're going in for him or not. I'm not 100% sure that we are, but nonetheless, that one even. Newcastle have had a bid rejected off Wolves for Dion Sanderson, which I didn't know if Wolves are looking at it like they're our rivals. Do we really want a player like Dion Sanderson gone to Newcastle and doing a good job, because we all know what he's capable of? But for me, it's a bit too soon in his career to be going straight to the Premier League. He should bide his time, probably come back to us, fingers crossed, and dig another year, or maybe he probably's gone to Sheffield or somewhere like that in the Championship, and then prove how good he is there, then move on to the Premier League. But Newcastle being knobheads try to pinch our player, yeah. I just said it on Instagram. Also, if you look at Sunderland's latest tweet, if you've got your 5 minutes, just have a look, see if you can suss any players out, because the cameraman was being a bit shady and he was moving it quick, or he was blurring it, coming down to the feet. He wasn't really giving much away, but I couldn't really see anybody else. Like, I was looking for Hume or 09, but I couldn't really see them. But anyone with a better eye than me, which is probably 90% out there, I'll probably be able to find out a bit better than I could. But that's a little one for you. Look, if you go back on the tweet, what Sunderland's just tweeted, and have a look, you'll see the way the cameraman's edited the video, so you can't really see who could be there or not, if you know what I mean. Like, he's done a funny editing. But like I was saying 2 seconds ago, if you've just joined, give us a quick look on the chat. If you've just joined, they've had a bid rejected, Newcastle, for Sanderson. So they tried to get in there and put a decent bid in, round about 2 million. For me, that's where I would be at with Dion Sanderson. About 2 million's fair. The million what we offered was just, it was never going to get accepted really, especially with our billionaire owner. Say what it is with him, it's starting to worry me this now, because we've got a billionaire owner, right? And he's got billions. It's just come out. Yes, it was good business. It was good business sense to go through the furlough scheme like he was. But that rang alarm bells for me, simply because of his first interview a couple of weeks ago, when he was saying, when he went along the lines of, this is a joint ownership and we're not going to be like panic buying like they were before in the later stages of the transfer window and stuff like that. Now, I got us thinking, is he not going to invest like all of us Sunderland supporters wanted him to? Didn't get us wrong, you can still get some really good signings, quality players who's going to improve our team in different positions in the pitch. 100% you can, from League One as well, because we've seen how this season there's been some absolute star players who, let's be honest, weren't at a big club, like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to like disrespect any of the clubs or teams, but there was some really good players in League One what we could be going in for, and also in the Championship we can attract Championship players. It does mind nothing when I see stupid comments or tweets that Sunderland cannot attract Championship players anymore, because League One clubs have already done it. League One clubs have already done it this window as well. So with us being one of the bigger clubs in the league, why can we not? Why can we not? Of course we can. I know they didn't want to have the pants pulled down with prices of players, i.e. the Wigan, the Crew Alexander player who they've slapped a £1 million price tag on, and so I think Sunderland just took a back step from that and thought, nay chance. I can't really remember the kid's name. He's got black hair, short. I can't remember. It's gone off the top of my head anyway. But you'll know who I'm on about. Comment below if you know, and I'll go back on the comments and have a look. But you can attract Championship players down to League One, and with Sunderland and the new owner, I think we're all expecting from the Traps, signing after signing, top draw signings as well for League One. but we haven't seen it. We've literally seen nothing from the club up until today, and that was the what you're calling the MCGEADY re-signed a new contract, which I'm obviously over the moon about, but we'll get onto that in a minute. And it's just, I know there's plenty of time in the window, but we didn't want to be left behind. Other clubs and other teams are making class signings already, ready as it is, and Ipswich, Wigan, Charlton's just signed that goalkeeper McGildry, and he was a free. He was probably the best goalkeeper of last season, in my opinion. A lot of you might disagree, but he probably was the best keeper of the season for me in any way. And I'm thinking to myself, fucking hell, they're signing players left, right, and centre. Them want to look as, let me get my words out. They look as if they want to go for promotion, where Sunderland are just dawdling. And the same thing happened with Stuart Donald's situation, and he started panicking. And right near the end, we paid £3 million it was for Will Grigg, and he didn't want to be here. No, that's another story in anyway. But that's what I'm trying to get at. We didn't want to start slow like we have and carry on this the way we're gone, because just say for instance we're seeing a player what we fancy, who's a quality top draw player for League One and anyway, and we're getting into negotiations with him, and it takes its time like it always does with Sunderland, and then somebody comes in and offers him what he wants, and boom, he's gone, and then we are left with panic buying at the last stages of the season. I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. I'm starting to get a little bit worried with the lack of incomings, considering we've got a billionaire owner he's got £2 million in the bank. We all know that. You know what I mean? It's starting to worry us a little bit, especially with his first interview, like I previously said about the joint. Well, something's fell. Give us a minute. That's went away. Hey. Woo! I'm back. My green screen decided to day one. Got sick of us talking shit, so pissed off. Sorry about that. Hey, I need a drink now. But like I was saying, it's got us a little bit worried about regarding the way we haven't made a move in the window, and also when you look at it, the amount of money we're offering players and the calibre of players we're looking at, Freeze, that Viv Solomon, for example, players what's gone again in the under-23s, which I'm not knocking that. I'm saying that's alright scenario, like get you under-23s, because he's promoting a canny few of them into the first team now, which I do understand. He's fucking green screen lad, which I do understand, I do get, but at the minute it is a little bit worrying. What do you think? Comment below. I'll have a quickly just jump onto you. Let's get him back. Great screen malfunction. Hi, I did. Alright, Pider's just dropped in. Alright, mate. He says alright. Definitely gonna help with our season. We go. Hi, GILESY. Lazy Lobbers, Magnificent. Why I haven't seen you for a while? Where you been? We need to sign him. It was class last season. Alex Thomas says, what do you think it's coming home? I 100% think it's coming home, simply because the route we've took to it's been probably the best route, let's be honest. The only hard team we've come up against was Germany, and we brushed them aside quite easily. Obviously if Muller put that chance away it would have been different, but nonetheless I think it's the Czech Republic in Denmark, and then we play the winner of them, and obviously we've got to beat Ukraine, which they went to extra time, and all of them looked dead on their feet, which could have went really good for I was going to say Sunderland really good for England, and also the few players got injured, so touch wood, gone past Ukraine, and I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Denmark. Obviously they want to do it for Ericsson, you know what I mean, so I really think that it's going to be a hard game if Denmark do beat the Czech Republic in any way, and then we'll move on from there. But I've got this is the best chance England have had in absolute years upon years to win it. I was watching Alan Shearer getting interviewed, and he was saying they're getting loads of Wembley games. We've went through the easy route, so you know this is our best chance. Back down, 7 players gone, potentially another 5 could leave. Nobody in yet. What the hell's going on? That's from Thean. Just said it, mate. I've just said more or less exactly the same. At first, you were banging on about this a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually, I was watching videos. You banging on about it a couple of weeks ago, and you were saying, "What's going on? What's going on?" I was like, "Oh God, how'd you also saying it's too early yet?" But then, listen, you've been right. You've been right. It's nothing's progressed. We're no further forward. We're just digging our feet in, and we're not getting nobody basically. Yeah. Oh, we got. We're supposed to be linked with that Jacob Carney from Manchester United, the goalkeeper, which I understand he was going to get in the under-23s. Totally get that, but nothing's been mentioned about that. Also, Viv Solomon on the board, done a video on it, a few other YouTubers did. He was supposed to be incoming, now it's been said about that. What else was there? The West Brom lad, he was a youth player for West Brom. Kind of think Tyrese. Is it Tyrese or something like that? Along them lines, we were looking at putting him in the 23s, and Ethan from. Oh, yeah, I should have fucking wrote these down, but nonetheless, anyway, we just haven't done anything really. This was the first video. I just put a tweet out, right, and a lad who talks to us on Twitter, he tagged us in it straight away. I put the tweet out, gone off at Sunderland, and I tagged Sunderland in it, and I was saying, listen, you know, knee signings, you haven't announced any of the out of contracts, the new shirts haven't been released, what's going on, Sunderland, make a move please, I mean bits here. And then 22 seconds later they mentioned MCGEADY, so I had to tap that tweet off because I look stupid. But I agree with Fian, it's a bit worrying now. I know we're only 3 weeks in or something like that, 2 or 3 weeks in, but if you go on social media or if you look on the internet and do a bit of research, you see the likes of all the other teams who was announcing one today. I think it was Oxford United. I think they have announced another player today. Someone called White was it? I'm not 100% sure, but they have announced a player. And I'm looking at Sunderland thinking, oh well, man, please make a move. Didn't leave it late again. I think really I'm just worried about us leaving it too late and getting left behind. Like we dig all the time. Every window we dig it all the time. But I just if you've just dropped in, Newcastle's just had a bid rejected, around about £2 million for Dion Sanderson. Wolves have told them no, thank God. But it's not looking the best for us, is it? But yeah, get on to this, man. Right. I'll quickly jump onto the chat before I talk about MCGEADY. I didn't want to leave people out in the comments if you've been commenting. Hit the thumbs up as well, it'll be much appreciated. Right, let's get back on it. Ethan from Manchester says Joseph, that's all I was on about. Well, you've obviously just heard there, Joseph, it's because Newcastle have put a bid in for Dion Sanderson. Somebody says about Dobson, saying Dobson agreed to join Charlton. That's a great move for I tell you what, I'll quickly go into that one with him before I start talking about him because it's on the chat. If Dion Sanderson signs for if George Dobson signs for Charlton, that's a massive move for him because he went out on loan with the FC Wimbledon, and there was the supporters from that club and the club themselves put up bidding for him and offered him a contract, and he turned it down. It weren't anywhere near what they were asking for him. Like, he wanted more money basically, and they couldn't afford him. So he come back to Sunderland, done a bit of training, and obviously Swave still wanted a shot of him. And apparently, I think it was today or maybe yesterday, pardon me, Charlton's come in and said, we'll offer you a contract. And Dobson's obviously been over the moon with that, and apparently he's going to sign for them. But listen, Dobson was absolutely shite for us. Everybody knows that. He had loads of energy. Didn't get us wrong. He was like a little, I don't know what to say, it just sounds a bit harsh on the lad, but he was like a headless chicken. He'd run all over. He was too sideways and backwards. He wouldn't penetrate the defence, gone forward, get through the middle and out like that. And Harvey scored one goal, and it was a good goal in that nonetheless, but nah, for me, he couldn't pass 2 yards, simple passes. Yes, he would run it, like harry the ball and chase players, but Nah, he wasn't for us. He wasn't. He didn't suit the Sunderland team. So for me, it's a massive move for the kid, but for us, I didn't give a shite if he's going. To be honest, I know that sounds harsh, but there you go. Right back onto McGeady. I'm personally, I'm over the moon that we've signed McGeady. Just look at last season. He got 16 assists. I know he only got about 4 goals. But the reason why Sunderland supporters are not asked about Charlie White gone is because of McGeady. Because McGeady got him them goals basically. Got him like what? How many goals did? If it weren't for McGeady, Charlie White wouldn't have got as nowhere near as many goals as what he did. And I think without McGeady, Charlie White doesn't get them goals next season. If we take him out the team, sit him on the bench, and put Diamond on or somebody, or get another player in who can play on the left wing, Charlie White doesn't score half as many goals. Let's be honest, let's be brutally honest about it. Charlie White doesn't score half as many goals. And that's simply because what McGeady brings to the table. His skill and trickery. He doesn't need pace, he just knocks it forward. The defenders didn't know whether they're coming or gone, sits them on the arse, and he put it into the box. And it's a perfectly weighted ball into the box as well, right on top of Charlie White's head. 9 times out of 10, when his ball's gone into the box, White was there to make it. I know he only had to peel off the defender a little bit, but McGeady's ball was... he was always going to win that header because of the quality of the delivery. Simple as that for me. And obviously, he could improve in his goals. I did see him in my last video when I'd done the contract, like when he signed the contract. I'd done a video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it after this. But for me, when people see we didn't want McGeady digging all the work, like pass it to McGeady, that's not McGeady's fault. In my opinion, that's not McGeady's fault. I think the team just subconsciously done that. When McGeady was on the pitch, the team would just look up, look for him and say, yeah, dig it, go on. I remember the game. Comment below if you remember the game, because I can't remember which actual game it was. But I think McGeady was injured. And we won that game without McGeady in the team, and we looked class. The passing was crisp. Everything was just improved when McGeady wasn't in the team. And that's not McGeady's fault. I think it was simply because of the mindset in the players. That just as soon as they see McGeady on the pitch, they automatically thought, well, he's top draw, best player in the league. Let's give it to him, let him do all the work. And that's not fair on McGeady, in my opinion. As much as he is the best player in the world, you cannot just rely on him game in, game out to just deliver. The other players have got to step up themselves. And I think some of them will, especially the youth players, because they'll want to prove themselves and they'll want to nail down their first team spot. So for me, you know, he's our best player, and I'm buzzing that he's in. 35, you just look at it, right? He's 35-year-old, right? I get that, and he might not have many years left, right? Well, I'll understand that, but look, for me, right, going off stats, that was his best season in a Sunderland shirt last season. And our goals wasn't, but simply with him and Charlie White linking up class together, I'd say that was probably, in my opinion, his best season in a Sunderland shirt. And he's 35. And he's improved a lot. You've got to understand that being ostracised, it took a toll on his fitness. Then he went out with Charlton. They probably wanted to keep him when they were in the Championship. And he had to work hard to get his fitness back up to scratch, and it started to improve as the season progressed, and he was in the first team under Lee Johnson, and he simply got better and better and better as the season went on. So for me, if all the players step up to the mark, you know, McGeady, all this pressure shouldn't be on McGeady's shoulders where you dig it all, greedy McGeady. It's not that. The players just look to him and go, yeah, dig it, when they shouldn't. In my opinion, they shouldn't. That's just mine. I'll probably be getting stick for that, but I think really that you know, get a few good quality signings in. Obviously, they're not going to be the same calibre as McGeady. They're just not. We're not looking at that type of. To be honest, we'd have to go into the Championship for players like McGeady. Where you're looking at League One players, and to be honest, that Viv Solomon is not a good League One player in my opinion. He's got pace. That's about it. Probably the cheap option for Jordan Jones. But and anyway, I'll jump onto the tracks. I'm waffling on a bit too much here. I'll go back. Pider, my channel members, just dropped in. He says, how much money do you think Dreyfus will realistically spend this summer? Before, when he got announced, I was expecting between 7 and 10 million, something like that. You know, good signings all over the park, from the defence, midfield, even the goalkeeper up top as well. Looking at it now, well, apparently there was 60 million if it went up. Apparently there was 60 million if it went up. Well, looking at it now, 5? I didn't know. I honestly, I couldn't tell you, mate. Let's be honest, I couldn't tell you. I can't second guess that club anymore, because I thought we'd have had a load of signings in. All the, you know, I thought business would have been done by now, but it simply hasn't. So on that, I really couldn't see it. But I was very optimistic that we were going to make all sorts of signings, and spend a canny bit to get us out of this league. I know that's not the option, and I know that's not the correct way to do it. But you know, I'm sick of being in this fucking league. I want to be out of this league, just like all he is did as well. So you've got to have experience, bit of youth, and some absolute quality. And the only way you're going to get quality is if you spend money. Yes, you might find a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? You might find that one hidden gem, but that's very rare. So for me, you've got to spend. You know, it's simple as that. But let's see what people's cracking on about on the chat. Liam Young said, can't believe after our daft offer for Sanderson, now Newcastle try and come in for him. He's only had one loan season here. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the move to the Prem. And do you know what? Now what, mate? Liam, I wouldn't blame him. He's from Wolves, born and bred, Wolverhampton, and he's got no really ties to Sunderland. He spent a time out on loan so he can progress in his career, get better as a player. But for me, why would he not? If that was my son, and he was going to play, I don't know about Newcastle, like, right? Just say it's, open here. Just say it's another Premier League club. I'm not going to say Newcastle, right? But just say it's another Premier League club. My son went, Dad, I've been offered a chance to play for such and such in the Premier League, or stop at Sunderland. I'm not going to lie. I'd say get to Sunderland, get to the Premier League, and play the best you can, and like, you know, that's the main goal for any players, to play in the Premier League. So if he's going to get that offer, he's going to take it, hasn't he? Regardless of it being in Newcastle, he's not a Mackham. He's not born in Sunderland, so you know, I could only see a Mackham saying no to a move to Newcastle if we're in League One. Right, back on here. Where was it at? The problem is the other clubs are doing the business early, and we'll be left with the scraps nobody wants. Fair option, fair opinion. It's closer to home for Dobson as well, back down south. That's what I'm saying. Would be different to what we previously had. Without going back further back, see what he was talking about. I heard rumours about that. He says he had his fingers crossed about where we're at. About that. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. That's Abujana. Guy held brilliant Pearson through the midfield, splitting the defence in League One. Well, do you know, I didn't know much about that lad. Honestly, it didn't excite us, the signing in any way. Where was he from? Azerbaijan? No, was it? Georgia, Azerbaijan. Fuck knows where he was from. But I've never really heard of him. I know he's in the Championship in Spain, like the Liga 2. I know he was playing in that league, but it didn't excite us. I didn't know much about him. Probably why it didn't excite us. I know he's a big, tall, physical lad, and he plays in the midfield. So, you know, I would welcome that at this minute because we're bringing football through. So I'd probably welcome that signing. Back further down, buzzing for McGeady to resign, but also worried as he still wanted to see 09 re-sign. Few other players coming in. Few players coming in. Wish we had a bit more shout about us. guess we'll see soon. Totally, we'll see soon. I'm just going off the here and now when I'm going on like this, getting worried about the lack of signings, getting worried about, this so-called billionaire. I'm not saying he's so-called. Tap that back. What I've just said. The Dreyfus, the billionaire, I'm worried that the lack of spending, the lack of investment into the first team, what's happening. I know this. He said the youth are gonna get a chance. I do understand that, but you've got to have experience, quality. The only way you're gonna get quality is spend money. You know what I mean? It's simple as that. We've got one top draw player, in my opinion, and that's MCGEADY, who shouldn't be in this league. The rest of them, for me, apart from Hume, who is really improving, and I hope to God he does sign a contract, I'd say most of them at their level. Maybe a handful of players, I'd say a handful of players who could do a job in league, in the championship, and then we'll probably have to take another clear out. I'm not involving any of the youth players in this because I would love to see more game time with the youth. That's all I'll say. I'm fucking digging myself old. Georgia it was. King Maguire won. They are working through the data with players. Has Maguire signed for any club yet? Anybody? Can you comment below if Chris Maguire is signed? I'm just out of interest because that lad commented his name was Maguire. And it just made us think about him. Obviously, I had a soft spot for Maguire. I think we all did. I would just love to see him get a good club, what he deserves. I just wish he could have had another season, or even this season played a lot, but he didn't get a chance, did he? Right. Obviously, you've seen that about if you've just joined the chat. Well, you've seen that about Newcastle getting a bid rejected off Wolves for Dion Sanderson, around 2 million as well, not the million what we offered, but 2. Let's quickly bring this one up. Whoa. Wyke. Let you watch this about Charlie Wyke. Right, this one about Charlie Wyke for me. He sort of, in my opinion, outpriced himself for Celtic. Didn't get us wrong, it could still happen, but when he asked for a 4-year contract, and then he said he wanted double the wages, I think Celtic went, whoa. I know I wanted to get him because of what he'd done in League One with us, which was outstanding, and I was, regardless of how he scored, he put the ball in the back of the net. So 30 goals for any player is amazing. You've got to give him that little bit of credit, and I would like to see him sign again. Why not? 30 goals, come on, But it wouldn't be my number one. It would be Ross Stewart. If we're going for a 4-4-2, the two of them together. But we tried that before in the season and it didn't really work. So for me, I think he's outpriced himself at Celtic. But I didn't know if that's a ploy for it from Charlie Wyke to then get a bigger contract from Sunderland. I didn't know. His brother tweeted that someone in his comment section was saying, so is your boy off to Celtic? And he replied back to him and went, he's got more chance of signing for, and it was like a pub team or something. He's basically saying there's no chance he's signing for Celtic. But things like that, you just take it as a pinch of salt, didn't you, really? But that was from his brother. But for me, I would keep him at the club. 30 plus goals. Come on, man, you can't. That's not to be sniffed at. You know what I mean? He's done well to get them goals. His little movement in the box. He's had to do that little bit of movement to get the goals, and obviously he hasn't scored all headers. I think, what was it, 17 or 18 was headers, and the rest with his foot. Well, I know he's better with the head, but nonetheless, he's still got the goals. So for me, I wouldn't mind him signing a new contract, but he wouldn't be my number one. Personal opinion. So then this fella, let's get this fella on and talk about him. But just before I do, I'll say what people were saying about Wyke. No, apparently Chris Maguire hasn't signed a new contract. Acacia Cameron Jude's just dropped in and says he hasn't signed for anyone yet. It's a shame. I liked him, I did. Right, back on the chat. somebody, I think Chris Maguire definitely wanted to stay at Sunderland, but Lee Johnson obviously doesn't want him in the starting lineup. He never did. Keisha, he never did. The second Lee Johnson come into the club, it was Wigan. Can you remember? And he was at the club for 1 hour, and he was standing on the touchline. Probably shouldn't have done it because we got beat off Wigan and then he was at home. But Chris Maguire was in that team, and since then, he never got a chance in the starting lineup in the league. He came on against Crewe when Jordan Jones scored a rocket. Chris Maguire went on to get the Sunderland goal of the season, and then we didn't offer him a contract on out, and he's chased. He was released from the club. It's a shame. I would have kept him. Drudded Seagull says Job Jobson is apparently going to Charlton. We've just been talking about that, mate. It's a massive move for him. He didn't set the world alight when he played for Sunderland. He did do well against AFC Wimbledon, just off seeing their fans commenting regarding him and watching some of the games as well. He did impress them so much so they offered him a contract, but his wage demands was too much and they couldn't afford him. So then Charlton have obviously apparently come in. He's meant to be off to Charlton. He was training with Sunderland today as well, or was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday or today. I can't really think. I'm just flabbergasted that Sunderland have actually announced somebody today. Christ. But nonetheless, there's a massive favour to the 24 people that's watching. Hit the thumbs up. We're on 13. See if you can get our 20. Much appreciated if you stay. Right, back onto there. Luke 09. For me, Luke 09, I would love it if he signed. What do you guys think? Comment below what do you guys think about him. But I would love it if he signed, simply because how versatile he is. He's a really good player, regardless of where he's been playing this season. He's. I know it didn't end well at the end of the season for us, right? But Luke 09 for me, his t-shirt, I'm sweating my tits off. Luke 09 for me, he did well in a position. It's not his natural position. He's 5'9" as well, which it's not tall. He's, the one mistake what sticks in a lot of Sunderland supporters' heads is obviously the one where he headed it into his own net, but that was partially Lee Burgess' fault as well. We've never seen him in the midfield. That's his natural position, the midfield. So we've never seen him shine in there. The only worry is Lee Johnson's not the only manager to not play him in the midfield. There's been a few of them who haven't put him in the midfield, and they've preferred other players in there and kept him as a versatile defender basically. And he played at right back majority of the time under, was it Parkinson, or it might have been Jack Ross. So for me, I would keep him in the team 100, like in the squad 100% for his versatility. He needs to be played at least a handful of games in the midfield so we can see what he's about. You know what I mean? I like him. I remember when he was playing and the stadium was full and we were all singing his name. He's got loads of energy. He does. It's hard really because he's had a few years in this league now, and for me, I would keep him in the team. I would keep him 100%. I'd be over the moon if he signed a new contract. I really would. But give the kid a chance. A lot of supporters go on his back because of this reason and that reason about him playing in defence. Oh, man, he's a midfielder. He's not a defender. He done really well at right back this season of 4 when we all used to sing his name at the Stadium of Light. And then he's done absolutely amazing this season alongside our third choice centre back in Dion Sanderson. You think Bailey Wright was there, Jordan Jones was there, I think Flanagan might have even been at one point ahead of Sanderson, and when all of them were getting injured, Sanderson and him nailed down that spot so much so Bailey Wright couldn't get back in, and when Sanderson went out injured, boom, we've dropped off, we dropped clean off. So for me, he shone in defence when he's not a defender. Simply, he's got a. I would keep him in the team 100%. Squad, sorry. But like you see, if we want to get out this league, we've got to improve. And in my opinion, I will put Oliver Younger in there. I will put Oliver Younger in at centre back. It doesn't look that young, really, like a youth player. He's a proper unit. He's tall, stocky as anything, physical. You know, for me, I would put Oliver Younger in our Luke 09. I think Oliver Younger will be a better centre back than 09. No disrespect to him because he had a good season at centre back, but that will allow then 09 to get in the middle. Or if we get a few more experienced centre backs, like someone from the Championship, like a big, burly, proper, no nonsense, Titus Bramble type, clear the ball. You know what I mean? Back in the chat, where we're at. Liam Jordan dropped in, says his brother said he's closer to. That's what it was. Chernobyl or whatever that is. Then signing. That's exactly what I've just been saying now, mate. Everybody was going on about Celtic this and Celtic that. I think he's outpriced his sell at Celtic. Probably he might not want to leave. Like, I know it sounds crazy. Yeah, he's waiting for Middlesbrough, in my opinion, or he just wants a bigger contract from Sunderland. He lives round the corner somewhere, you know what I mean, Stockton or something like that, and he's from Middlesbrough, born and bred. So I kind of see him wanting to go all the way up to Scotland, you know what I mean. And in my opinion, Celtic, I would probably say it's a sideways move. Quoting that David Artell from Crew, it's a sideways move. I know they offer Champions League football, but they're like probably a mid-table Championship team, in my opinion. I know I might get stick off a few people for saying that, but I would say he's like a mid-table Championship team, Celtic, or maybe a bit higher than that. I'm being a bit harsh, but I can't see him. Probably that's why he's asked for 4 years and a load of money, because he knows this might be his last big move, or someone can just offer him what he wants. Would you keep him? Would you keep him? Comment below if you would keep him, but for me, I'd keep him just for his 30 goals, man, away. But he's not my first choice, like I was saying before. It's Ross Stewart. Sirius says, I want 09 to stay so much. Like, see, do you know what I want him to stay? I really do. You know, his attitude playing for Sunderland. If I just wish Will Grigg had the same attitude, and I guarantee most of the Sunderland supporters wouldn't have been on his back as much. I'd say a few wouldn't have been on his back as much, because his attitude, he's full of smiles, he's happy, he loves the fact that he's playing for Sunderland, and it's infectious. His smile was infectious, especially when he was playing in a packed stadium. You know, his energy, his enthusiasm when he's on the pitch, he's got to be kept in the team. Simple as that for me. The Mags aren't buying Dion Sanderson, as Wolves have rejected the bid as well. I know that. It was around about 2 million or something. 2 million, I think. Round about 2 million they were offering for him, and they've said no. So Sunderland's got to look at that now and think, right, we've offered 1 million, it's got rejected. Newcastle's offered 1 point whatever for him. Now we've got to go in with a much more improved offer for Dion Sanderson. Just give them what they want. If they want 2 million, then give them 2 million. He's worth it. Look at it. Where is he? I'll put him back on. Just while we're talking about him. What else have I got on there? I'll put this one on because we didn't want the. Oh wait, man, where are you? Yeah. Hey. Right. We didn't want. Sorry, what was I saying now about Luke on Sanderson? Sanderson, right, we've offered 1 million and got rejected. Newcastle offered much more improved. That got rejected. So just give them what they want. If they want 2 million, 2 million's perfect. Listen, do you know why it's so good? How good he played in his first loan season at us in League One. He's shown. And you've got to look at it. He's only a young player, so he's only going to improve. He's going to get better with time. Much better players around him at centre half as well. He had a midfielder at centre half, 5'9", and he's still shown. So imagine him with a good partnership alongside him, a good right back if you play him on the right side of the two centre backs, a good right back who's got plenty of pace so he can come back and help him out. Even though Sanderson has got a lot of pace, oh hey man, it's a no-brainer. Sunderland, pull your finger out and get in there before everybody else and just give them what they want. 2 million's nout. especially when we've got $1 billion now. He's got $2 billion in the bank. Christ, it's not much to ask for, is it really? Especially when last season we got left really thin at the back, and with if we could get Sanderson through the door, it would be amazing. It would be a much wanted player, put it that way, and needed. Now back on the chat, it's gone back down. Right, Celtic has a chance to get into the Europe. They always do, but the day out in Europe. Pider says it's a shame that 09 and Mutimer didn't play together in the midfield. I would love that duo. 09 Sirius says 09 is one of the only players who only gives 110%. It's a good point. Regardless of how he played, Luke 09 did give 110%, and if last season, if the other players did give 110% like he did, maybe we would have got promoted. But then again, we didn't have a goal scorer from the midfield, and that's what cost us. Simply, we didn't have a goal scorer from the midfield, in my opinion, in any way. But only had really Charlie Wyke, Ledbetter chipped in, Gooch got a few, but other than that, like, where you need to seriously, in my opinion, get a goal scorer. And I would love to imagine these signings, right? Dion Sanderson comes in, sorted. I'm not saying it was sorted, like we still need a right back and probably another centre back. And I would love to sign Scott Fraser. There's a few other players from the midfield, but I didn't think Lincoln would sell George Grant. He scored 18 as well. Obviously, you've got Matt Taylor from, where was it? Oxford. He scored, was it 20? Oh, no, I think he got 18 and George Grant got, I'm going to look that up now. I'm going to quickly get flash scores because that's doing me in that now. But I think Matt Taylor got 18 and George Grant got 20. Let's have a quick check. That's the fixture. That's not the fixtures, is it? League One. It's changed it all. Currently, look where Sunderland are. If you can see this, I'll try and get it right up. Can I focus? We're third in the league. That's something what we do not want. It's just, it's fuck all that, man. It's just a bit of a laugh. But in any way, like I was saying, we need a goal scorer from the midfield. We need other players around us to chip in with the goals as well. Couldn't have just left the assists to MCGEADY and then Charlie Wyke. We've got to get the midfielders scoring basically. I really do. The one player who I'm really excited about, and I cannot wait to see him in the team, is Josh Hawkes. He scored 16 goals, was it? I think, from the midfield in the under-23s. So for me, he's going to get his chance, and I hope he does take his chance with both hands because he deserves it basically. Now you've got to look at it. Where does other players fit into the team? You've got Diamond, Gooch. They're playing about the same position, really, didn't they? I know Gooch can play at right wing back, so we still need a right back. Then where does Gooch play? Winchester probably is going to be one of our most vital players next season, playing that vital role just in front of the defence. I think that's where Lee Johnson was trying to bed him in, giving him game timing there and everywhere, because that's what, Ledbetter was at the end of his career with Sunderland, according to Lee Johnson, and obviously we released him. Pardon me. And then that's Winchester. He's got to step up to the mark now. That's his position, so he'll go into there. And then we've got to look at goal scorers. Elliot Emberton's been off, he's been promised a starting spot in the starting 11. Blackpool desperate to get him there, and they probably still are. There's still plenty of time, but with Lee Johnson, he said he wanted to give him a starting spot. It's one of them. There's a few good players out there. What we need to get, we need quality around MCGEADY. It's not just MCGEADY with the only player with quality. You know what I mean? I thought we would get Jordan Jones, who he can. He can have a 5 minutes of quality. A bit like MCGEADY. He's trickery, he's pacey. But he was hot and cold. He didn't really dig it on a regular basis for me, and we needed more of that in the team. His delivery in the box was alright. That was canny. I remember Charlie Wyke toe poking a goal. I can't remember what was passed, but he toe poked the goal. It wasn't his head, believe it or not, and it was a ball in from Jordan Jones. So that I think Sunderland have gone down the cheap option. They didn't want to pay 600 plus for Jordan Jones, which I would. I personally would give him the risk of being in the. I wouldn't even say it's a risk. You've seen his skill and ability. He just needs more game time and a regular spot in the starting 11. Lee Johnson chopped and changed all the way at the very end of the end game. Lincoln, you know what I mean? He didn't know his first team, so he's got to nail down the first team, Lee Johnson. But you've got to look at it. We still fucking haven't signed anyone, man. How can he nail down the first team when we haven't even signed anyone? But and anyway, the pre-season games. Does anybody know? Please comment below because I haven't got a clue. Do you know anything about if they're streaming it? Because I'll do live watch alongs, but I'll try and do it on this. You know, like I've got it here. Let us know in the comments below if you know if Sunderland the FC is streaming it on their website, or if you didn't know, then you didn't know. But if you could let us know, it'd be much appreciated because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stream that. There's nothing else to do. We're kind of getting to the game with COVID, and obviously COVID's gone up. Are we even going to get to away days? You know what I mean? A lot of schools in Sunderland are sending the kids home to isolate. And me son went to school today, and there was only 8 kids in his class. 8. So, you know, are we going to even get to games? I hope to God it is. I hope they just. I think they're going along the lines of that. If you've been vaccinated, double vaccinations, then you're alright. As long as you can prove you've been double vaccinated, if you know what I mean. But I just hope these cases come back down, like, because I want to get to all the away games. Well, not all of them. I've got 13 planned. 13 away games planned for where I want to go to. Obviously, you know, I might jump on the odd one. You know, the bus what goes outside the stadium, I might get on there and get down. That's if they're digging it, because a family member's supposed to be going to Butlins and they kind of get there because of the coach, and this is in August, so the coaches are not on. Oh my God, fuck COVID. Right, Sunderland FC haven't posted anything about it yet. I think the game is on radio, not live stream. Well, that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, like, isn't it? That's a bit of a nightmare, that, like. I was really looking forward to doing a live stream, like, downstairs, like I was doing before, but I might even actually dig it up here if I'll get I'll end up my mate's laptop. If I'll get the laptop there and, you know, I watch the game there and have it like this, and then if the goals come through, I can quickly put them up here for you, you know what I mean? I'm digging that with the mouse. You can't even fucking see it. I'll put the goals up here, you know, after they've come in. I could on the stream put the goals up there. It might take us like a couple of minutes to dig it, but obviously with my internet being the worst in the world, yeah, I kind of believe it hasn't crashed tonight, to be honest. But the reason why I'm live tonight, the reason why I'm live tonight, because I'm really busy over the weekend. I'm absolutely gutted. I was going to go for a pint with Joel Jamsani. I kind of dig it. I'm busy as out all week. So, what a twat. But that's why I've had to go on live today, because I'm busy, you know what I mean? I normally do these Fridays, and I was going to be trying more consistent with that. But nonetheless, that's about it. I want to wrap it up in a minute now. Quickly going back to the chat. Pider says, if the case in Sunderland is gone, if the curse in Sunderland is gone, or it is still going on, invest in Africa area, Rodwell area, Moyes area, Stuart Donald area, praying with 4 better times ahead. Praying 4 better times ahead. My eyes are shut to bits. I have to get out of the camera like the phone like this. But it's still worrying for me, mate. It's still worrying for me simply because, do you know, I was just expecting signings after signings, money tossed about left, right and centre like confetti. You know, class players coming through the door. The feel-good factor, like it was when he first come in, I thought that was going to happen. But then he comes out with, it's a shared ownership, and Oh, my heart sank when I heard that, because he's basically asking for investment from Donald as well, which we know that's not going to happen. Assets stripped, so we're not going to get out of him. But anyway, everybody, before I quickly on here, Lucas Life, how are you? I'm Sir, mate. Chosen 500's dropped in. Alright, mate. I'm in isolation, so bored with nothing to do. There you go. Now, I've just been talking about that, mate. The cases in Sunderland have gone skyrocketing. My son went to school today and he said there was only 8 kids in his class, and I was in two minds whether to send them in. So we were going up and up and up. Are we going to get to away days? Are they even going to let full capacity stadiums on the 19th? Apparently everything's still go ahead for the 19th of July, was it? It was 19th of July. So fingers crossed. The deaths didn't gone up. The cases can go up, fair enough, because the cases gone up doesn't mean necessarily that the deaths are gone up and the hospitals are not fucking jam packed and, you know, all that carry on, what you always hear about. So if the cases are gone up, if the cases are gone up and the deaths are not, he might still crack on and open everything up, and then we can all get to the stadium, not just 10,000. I was one of the lucky ones. I got the gun, and I'm not even lying there if you didn't gun. It sounded like there was 40, a sellout, 49,000, 40, 50, 20 million, you know what I mean? It sounded as if there was absolutely tens of thousands in there, not just 10,000. It was electric. I swear to God, goosebumps. I didn't know if it was because I hadn't been for a while. But do you know what it is? You know what I thought it was? Do you know where all the singing supporters are? They're normally in the top corner. Not far from where I sit a little bit further down. They were dotted all over the stadium. Instead of just all of them being up there, they were dotted all over. So when people were singing, everybody was singing, and it was loud as fuck. Oh, it was amazing. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I just thought, I'm glad I left me. No, people didn't renew. I'm glad I did, just to get that one. You know what I mean? I wish we got more, but shit happens, didn't it? Just like the other day in the England game when Thomas Muller should have got a yellow card and cost us 950 quid bet. I only put a fiver on. It was them free bets what you get. Yeah, he knocked us, didn't he? He's supposed to have got a yellow as well. But I'm waffling on now. Right, everybody. Just before I go on, we're at 21 likes. Smash the like button before I go on. Obviously subscribe. Tell your mates. Tell everybody about us. Somebody commented on the studio and says like a bit like Mark Goldbridge's. He does Man United. Well, that's what I copied of. Basically, I did copy of him, but his is a little bit better. I might put the Papa John's trophy there now instead of the microphone and the cup. Yeah, I might put them there. A big Papa John's trophy, but I didn't think I've got enough room because it'll come all the way up here. Well, I might do that nonetheless. Subscribe, like I said, tell all your mates, spread the word, and I'll see you in the next bit of news. Fuck knows when it'll be. It might be a little too late, or it might be tomorrow. It might be, tonight. You didn't know I was Sunderland, but I think the teasing